Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, guys. Wherever you are, I hope you can hear the Vesta board going. Here we go. This is the Vesta board going. I'll try and bring this up every time it goes because I couldn't get something the right size to show you guys exactly how it looks all the time. But I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a great day. And every time it tries to make a noise, I will bring the Vesta board up so you guys can see it. But we're here in the workshop doing another workshop stream. More cameras mean more problems. Today we have 3 cameras set up. Glenn Dasu, thank you so much for the follow. When the Vesta board goes, I will ping that up for you. But yeah, we've got more cameras, more problems. So we've got 2 Sony Alpha A6400s trying to just keep track of what I'm doing, and then we've got the Sony Brio following what's happening on the Vesta board up on the wall there. So we do have the Vesta board cam. Whenever it makes a noise, you guys will get to see it just like that. I will bring it back up. In fact, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to make it smaller. And I'm just going to pop it in the top corner here. How about that? And we just leave it there all the time. Can you guys read that if I leave it like that? Better to get hurt by the truth than comforted with a lie. Is that all right there? We'll just leave it there like that. That should be okay for now. That should be okay for now. When we go over and we're doing stuff on the laser, we'll probably tweak and change it a little bit. And I'll try and make it bigger every time it starts to make a noise, just so you guys can see what's going on. Let's see who got first today. Anarchy got first. Thank you so much, Anarchy, for being first. You are often first on my stream, so thank you very much for that. We've also got Thrax4 here as well. He says, hey, Jay. Fayris says, evening, Jay. Thank you so much. I think it was yourself that was helping me out with the tweets earlier on. It may not have been, but if it was, thank you very much. Keyboard prototypes also. Yeah, we have some keyboard prototypes coming to show you guys today. Chio, look, Ma, I'm on a pseudo TV. There you go. There you go, guys. There you go. It is spitting facts, as Thrax says. Okay, Gio said already sent a message waiting out to see how long it takes. That's roughly how long it takes. It has to do a load of post-processing in the background to make the actual tweet, because you can tweet it, guys. You can tweet it, and whatever you tweet will be displayed up here, as long as it doesn't have any emojis in and it's within the character limit for the board. But yeah, you guys can tweet. If you do !mark socials, you'll be able to see how to do that. But it takes about 4 or 5 minutes from the message being sent on Twitter or wherever to actually displaying on the board, because the board has to do a load of config to work out where it should be, and it has a whole load of logic that works all of that out. So it's kind of interesting, but it's good fun. It's really good fun. Yoni Wolfie seriously says hello. Hey Yoni, thanks for joining. It's Casper 3DS, thank you very much for being here as well. The bro dude, evening my dude. Casper's asking what we're up to. Today we are going to be using the laser cutter, which you can see in the top box just here. We're going to flip that over and to be the main camera. We're actually going to make some cool stuff today. We're going to design in Fusion 360 a keyboard stand. Then we're going to laser cut it out of some acrylic. And then we're going to actually put it together and show you guys how it works. Now, there are some limitations to that because not all of the parts have arrived at the workshop, but I can kind of bodge it and get around it, so that's what we're going to do today. Adam says, yo, hey man, good to see you. Threx says, have you custom coded it to do that stuff, or is it like a mod you can download? So the Vesta board works on own Vesta software. So this is, I'm not endorsed, this wasn't an ad for Vesta board or anything like that. I paid for this with my own money. It's all paid for and bought. It's not an ad or anything like that, I have to be clear. But the Vesta board works on its own software, but at the same time you can use plugins and API calls to do certain things, and it is featured on If This Then That, which is a great little app if you want to automate things. It's called IFTTT, If This Then That, and you can kind of automate a lot of stuff to it. So at the moment while I'm in the workshop, it shows me if there's a new sale on the website, it shows me if someone follows on Twitch, and it also shows if someone messages me on sorry, not on Instagram, on Twitter as well. So a few different things I can get it to display. These follows will display on there at some point, I'm pretty sure. I think it has been working earlier on today, so hopefully they'll start to feed through. Creek says, nice, WH1000. Yeah, these are the XM4s. I have the XM3s in the office as well. Big fan of the Sony stuff, big fan. Glenn Dasu says, I'm here to admire the beard. Thanks, man. It's coming along well. It's taken a while, but it's getting there. Nerdy says, hey, man. Good to see you, dude. James as well. Good evening, good sir. Charlie B and Gio as well. What is the actual decoding, etc. native on the board? Yeah, it's actually the firmware on the board. So there's actually an LED on the side, and if you take off the outside panel, there's like a board that's an outside panel. You can see the LED flashing when it's doing certain things, and it flashes amber whenever it's processing a message, and that processing is what takes the time. as far as I understand anyway. I could be wrong, but that's my understanding of the situation. What the parts are you waiting for to arrive at the workshop? A lot of parts. Today it was just some bolts. So what we're going to do is we're going to use these bars to hold the two sides of the keyboard stand together. You're going to have a side on here and a side on here, and you'll have two bars that go across. And these are threaded rods. The camera focuses. But the bolts that are going to go in there, they're not quite threaded to the right size that I wanted. I wanted 3mm, but these are 3.5mm or M3.5, and I only have M3 bolts, so I can kind of put it together and show you guys, and it'll be sturdy enough to like stand the keyboard on, but it's not going to actually screw and tighten up. So that's the only thing that's missing. Just don't have the right size screws today. Hope there's a filter on that. There isn't, but I can get rid of the camera quite easily. It's a one click. If anyone puts anything, the camera goes. So if anything does go up there that shouldn't do, I can fix it. And I can always just use my Vesta board app to send something new across. So I can quite easily just send something new across. It'll take a couple of seconds, but you'll see in a second that I've put a new message up there. Here you go. So if anyone does put anything untoward up, I can kind of wipe it off and just put a pattern up there. Dead simple. Dead simple. Okay. And what acrylic are we using? I saw the pretty green ones on Insta. Yeah, the green ones are what we're using today, to be honest. Here it goes again. So is this the new chat? If so, hi chat. There you go. You can class it as a new chat if you want. We are using some of the new green acrylic. It's just off camera to the side. I'll go get it when we're ready to actually start laser cutting. This is the one that someone asked me to do a lube station in as well. So I'm going to save an off cut of this to just do a lube station there as well. It's a scuffed keyboard stand, but it's just the screws. That's all that's missing. It's just the screws. M3 will work. It'll kind of like clip together and it'll be solid enough to show you guys on the stream. But for when I actually sell them, I need the M3.5 screws to come. It's Brutal says, do you have a dog? I swear I always see a dog bed on the floor in your Instagram. I do. Workshop dog. She's not here today, and she hasn't been for a little while actually. But yeah, she comes to work with me quite often. She hangs around the workshop. She just chills out here. She's a little cross terrier. Sometimes you'll see her in my Insta stories when she is here, but we always have a bed for her wherever she might possibly go because got to keep a dog comfy. Do you pull the info from Twitch API like followers and stuff? Yes. So it should pull followers through from Twitch. Now it seems like the Twitch API only runs every so often. I think it runs every 15 minutes. It does a callback every 15 minutes. So it doesn't always pick that up. So I need to tweak and change that. But I will make it so that when we can actually have subscribers and we make affiliate on here, because I'm hoping that's going to happen, then I'm going to make it so that any subs or anything else will come up on the Vesta board. That's the plan. Jay, you need to deactivate Twitter and hook it up to Twitch subs or donos. Yeah, so I can't get Twitch subs yet because I'm only just started streaming on this channel, but that is the plan. The Twitter bot is just for fun for now, and it will go to subs and donations. That's what it will come up with later on, as soon as they're available. Oxy, thank you very much. I'm good, man. Hope you are too. Yoni Wolf lost one of his XM3 buds. Oh man, that sucks. Sorry to hear that, man. Arcane is here as well. He says hi. Thrax asking about the stream cart, is it ready to build yet? No, I'm still waiting on the wood for that, but I did get a shipping notification. All the wood that I'd ordered cut to size is on its way. So I think some point next week, I don't think it'll arrive tomorrow, but I think when it arrives Monday or Tuesday, we'll probably do a stream that night and we'll start putting it together and making sure that everything's correct and how it should be. And then we'll carry that on throughout the week. So we might do 2 or 3 streams next week where we show that. It's an amazing sound. Dude, that thing sounds so good. Like every time I'm walking around the workshop and it makes a noise, I get a big grin on my face. I'm a big, big grin. I could look at that thing all day. Dude, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I know your name and follow you on Instagram. I've never officially met you. Well, Jordan, thank you very much for coming to the stream. I appreciate it. Maybe one day you can visit the workshop when COVID is over and things are able to go somewhat back to normal. You'll be able to visit the workshop and come and see what we do here. I think with Discord, it's every 30 minutes it updates. Yeah, it's something like that. Something like that. Surely you're smashing the affiliate goals. Yeah, I just need to do a couple more things. I think I have to stream 8 times within 30 days, and that's it. And number of hours, but I think the number of hours will be easy. That's fine. Three average viewers. Yeah, something like that. Visit the workshop. Would you like a CNC from me? You have a CNC, Jordan? If you have a CNC, reach out, let me know, and chat to me, because I'm in the midst of kind of wading through potentially buying one at the moment. I tried to buy a Haas last year, and I paid a deposit, 10,000 euros deposit, and then Haas wanted a certain. Basically, they wanted me to put my house on the line. This is a publicly limited company, so it's a limited company. It's Prototype is Keyboards, which is my company, the business that inhabits here. And they wanted me to put my house on the line to be able to get one. And they changed it to that right at the very last minute. So this was 2 days before the machine was due to be delivered. We'd got through all of the contracts. It had never been mentioned. 2 days before the machine was due to be delivered, just as the electrician arrived to run all of the phase 3 cabling, they called me up and they said, this is the new condition. I said, no, that's not what we're doing. So then they cancelled the delivery. Then we couldn't arrange a new deal, and it then took them a further 4 months to refund me. So, yeah, that's just the way it was. That's just the way it was. Oh, so you're a friend with Salvan. Okay, Salvan's amazing. He was so helpful throughout the process. He helped me buy a load of tools that I needed. He offered to, if I'd got any work on, he offered to actually catch up and do that work for me, because I wouldn't be able to complete the contract when the machine didn't arrive. All sorts of stuff like that. So, yeah. But if you can sort something out with Matzak or potentially even something a little bit cheaper, please let me know. Drop me a DM. Have a chat with me on Insta. Prototype is a big smile on your face. Dude, I love it. Look at it go. I love it. I love it. Has sale team doing as well as their F1 team? Yeah, I would not disagree with that. Look, it's going nuts, guys. It's going constantly here. There you go. Yoni Wolf is following now. Thank you for the sports. There you go. It started to catch up on the Twitch side of things. Let's make it bigger, because I think it might run through a few here. Okay, has it finished? I think it's up. There we go. Jordan64 TV, thank you so much for the follow, man. Thank you so much for the follow. Please no Haas, feels bad, man. The machines are good. Like, for what I need, they're perfect. But yeah, I need something that's within that price range or even cheaper. And I suspect the Matzak machines are not in that price range. But yeah, we'll see. Did I miss the thick, clear loop stations? Yeah, they went in stock and out of stock pretty quickly. I'm probably not going to do any of the 10mm thick ones anymore. We're just going to stick to the 5mm thick ones. There's just they cost me money to make, and I can't sell them at a price that would make me break even, because it would just seem too expensive what they are. So basically, if I sell something for £25 on the store, which is what I was having them up for, it means that they're roughly £21 without VAT, give or take a few pence. But at £21, a full sheet of it, which gets me 9 loop stations, costs £105. It costs £105, that's for 9 loop stations. Plus the time for the electricity of the machine and everything else. Just can't get it cheap enough, I just can't. So I'm not going to do any of the 10mm ones anymore. But we are going to do a lot of the 5mm ones, that's the plan. I take it you're not going back to Haas then, says Adam? No, I don't think so. I think I'm probably going to stay away from Haas now. I think that's the plan. Haas F1 is so KEKW. Yeah, like, just one of their drivers is that, right? It's just one of their drivers. I'm not going to say his name, but this might give you an idea. That might give you an idea who I'm talking about. Does it have like a lifespan? How long is one of the small things supposed to last? So the actual connectors, this is actually huge. Let me put my hand up next to it so you guys can see how big this is. So it's actually really big. like my hand's the size of like 4. It's actually huge. It's like, it's over a meter across. It's massive. It's over a meter. It's like literally, if I hold my hands like this, it's like that big. It's massive. So I think they last for a million of each flap going. So, and there's 87 flaps on it. So I read it wrong earlier on. I was reading the specs. I thought it was a million flaps overall, but it's a million per flap, and there's 87 flaps on each one. So 87 million spins, give or take, is what it will last for. Are the display stands you're making going to be up for sale? Well, we're going to prototype some today. I've started doing some CAD work on them and creating a sketch in Fusion 360. We're going to export that into the software we use to control the laser, and then we're going to cut them and test them. And it depends on how well the test comes out as to whether I decide that we're going to make them or not. So we'll see. We shall see. Love the truck. Yeah, this is going to be my daily driver when we get it finally finished. Just need some work on the headlights doing, which should happen in the next few days. Then we'll get it for a road test, and then we'll have it on the road. And it's actually going to replace my green truck. So I do have a green truck parked outside. If I put the big doors up, you might be able to see it. This is where I come right over here, and I put the big doors up, and we see if you can see the green truck. You might be able to see it in the background. You might not be able to as well. We'll see. Can you guys see it? No. So the first van there, the green truck, is just behind the bin there. I'm not going to move the bin, but it is out there. The green truck's out there, but the green truck is going to get sold as soon as the blue one's on the road. Right, time to put the door back down. I was hoping you guys would be able to see it. It is there, I promise, it's just there. There we go. There we go. It will last you longer than most MX switches. 100% it will, Hugh, yes. You're in the UK, maybe I could arrange for you to see out machines at McLaren. Dude, I am in the UK, and if you could arrange that, man, I would be a very happy chap. I was a program manager before I did this for a financial institution here in the UK. That's what my actual profession is program manager, dealing with multi-million pound and multi-billion pound deployments. Orange Cyborg is now following. There you go. Thank you for the support. For a financial technology firm, which was great fun. And now I make things, which is great fun as well. So I would love to work for McLaren, and I would love to go see them. Like, just seeing some of the Formula One teams was my big dream. And actually being a program manager for a Formula One team was what I wanted to do for a long time. And I tried to get into the industry a little bit, but the travel and everything else didn't quite work out. I did have an interview with a couple of the teams. I can't say who. I had to sign non-disclosure agreements and all sorts of things, but this was probably in around 2011, 2012. So yeah, interesting times. You put the green truck up for sale as yet? No, Pete is going. Pete, the green truck, is going. I need a name for the blue truck. I don't have a name for the blue truck yet, but Pete is going. He's going to be up for sale. He has an oil leak at the minute as well, does Pete, which means that it's a gasket that I can't fix myself as well. So it's going to have to go into the shop to get fixed, and then it's going to go up for sale. Feels like UK industrial estate. That's where I work from. That's where Prototype's keyboards is. It's an industrial estate, a brand new one. This is a new build industrial unit here in the UK. Capty, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate that, man. How many of your old co-workers have bought from your store? 0, because none of them knew what I did. I didn't really share what I did. So yeah, none of them as far as I'm aware. It's kind of interesting, but I don't think they would understand what I do here at Prototypist. I suspect that they'd probably miss the point of what we do, and they wouldn't quite get it. The easiest way to explain custom keyboards, of which we have some prototypes to show you in a bit, is to say, you know, if you have a handyman, he's going to have a nice drill. He's going to have a Makita drill that's £500. Well, coders and developers and, you know, people who stream for a living, they want a keyboard that's their tool, right? So they want something, you know, as reasonably expensive as they can afford that gives them the experience that they want. And it is a tool, and that's how you have to view it. No, Lodestone's in the office. If you guys want to see Lodestone, I can show you the Lodestone prototype. This is Lodestone. This is the full working version of Lodestone. Oh, if I can show you on here. Yeah, that's Lodestone for you. How nice is this orange? So there you go. My family doesn't even get it, so I see that, yeah. I just want flex, to be honest. I get that. Oh shit, it's in the office. Yeah, like I have an office, just the wall that I've got all of my equipment on here, behind that is my office space here as well. I have like an office, 500 square feet office. Makita or Dewalt? Makita usually for me. Most of my drills and bits of Makita. Milwaukee isn't really available over here, but I prefer Makita out of everything anyway. Anarchy says, have you had a chance to curl it yet? Curl what, Anarchy? Am I missing something? I'm not sure. What do I have to do? Tell me and I will do it. Dude, you just have to wait for Lodestone. It'll happen. It will happen. It will happen. Do you know what, right? What I will say for Ryobi stuff is that it works and it's cheap. And for the price you pay, Ryobi stuff is really, really good. Like for the average person at home who doesn't need a drill very often and they want something that's reasonably robust, or they want 3 or 4 tools, an impact driver and a drill and a few other bits and pieces, and they want one battery that clips them all, the Ryobi 1 series, don't knock it guys, it's really good. It's better than you think. It's better than you think. Oh, the Lodestone with the flat bottom looks like a curling, so I see. Yeah, I kind of get that. I kind of get that. I use Ryobi at home. Guys, like, Ryobi's good stuff. Cool to see you on a stream, chatted with you days ago. You're a nice, sympathetic guy. Sympathetic? Okay, thanks man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Everyone agreeing on the Ryobi stuff now. Yeah, decent enough and can open the clamshell and fix easier as well. Yeah, it's good. What are you looking at in the cutter, Chief? Nothing at the minute. Nothing at the minute. Soon though, soon. Jay, you're still offering custom keyboard plates? Looking to get something made for a small board? Yeah, so once I've got through the POM orders from the POM and carbon fiber plate group buy that we ran on Prototypist back in February, once that's all done, I'll have it permanently on the site and you'll be able to order plates whenever you want made out of POM, and that will be done in-house. I have sheets of it just here lying around. So this is a sheet of POM with 2 plates cut out of it. Yeah, so we have just sheets of it ready to go. We'll talk about the laser cutter in a minute, Tom. We'll get there, we'll get there. Yeah, we don't cut the carbon fiber ones in-house, but we cut the POM ones in-house, yeah. The prices for plates dependent on the size of the board, is just a fixed price? They will be dependent on the actual size of the board. What it'll be is I will invoice you for what you want and you'll just order it through the store. You'll get like a link to click and order it through, but it all depends on the laser time more than anything. How long means the laser has to be on, that determines how long, how much it costs basically. The actual material's like 1/3 of the cost, the most of the cost comes from the laser time. So yeah. Cool. Okay, let's flip over to the laser, guys. We're going to hide the Vesta board for now. We'll flip over to the other camera. So today you can see the laser is dirty and dusty and filthy, and it's going to get cleaned up in a couple of days' time. But I haven't had a chance to do that as yet. So what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to load up Fusion in a second, and I'm going to show you guys the idea I've had for a keyboard stand and how it's going to go together. Then we're going to get some material, we're going to put it in the machine, we're going to calibrate the machine, and then we'll cut the parts that we've designed in Fusion. That's going to be really fun to show you guys. So let me show you Fusion first of all. You should be able to see Fusion here, and you should be able to see my design for a keyboard stand. So just want to call out a few things. Basically, this is the design of it. You're going to see this curve here. Now, this is basically set at a 70-degree angle, so it keeps them quite vertical, but we didn't want a straight line here. So we actually wanted a curve in there, so it's not actually touching the whole of the back of the keyboard. So we put a nice swooping curve in, and then we've just got 10 millimeters at the top and 10 millimeters at the bottom, where it's just going to be flat and hold on to the board effectively. We've then got a nice little ridge here at the bottom. You can see I'm just highlighting it at the bottom. And when it swoops around the node, there's another 10 mil there, just to keep it nice and flat and flush. It should be enough to hold on to any board. As well as that, you can see that there's two holes, two little round holes, one at the top, one at the bottom. And those are basically where these rods are going to go through. So if you look in the camera, you can see these rods are going to go across. You have a piece on the end and a piece on the end, and it will all hold together. So that's basically what we're going to cut from the laser cutter. And then also what we're going to do is in the middle somewhere, we're going to etch. I'll show you kind of roughly what we're going to do. Let me insert an SVG file. I'll show you roughly what we're going to do. So what we are going to do, why has it done that? Hold on, let me flip this around. So what we're going to have is somewhere in the side, we're probably not going to do the keyboards part, but we're probably just going to do the prototypist part. But we're going to have basically an etching through it as well, so you can have the design etched into it. That's going to be what we're going to do. We're not going to do that in this software though. We're actually going to undo all of that because it's much easier to control in our laser software. Because there is some complexity to this, which I'll explain when we start to put it into the laser. We're also going to delete that line there as well, because we don't want to cut that. We just want to keep it nice smooth. And now one thing I do need to do is I need to offset these holes. So I said earlier on that the tubing that we're going to use has a 3.5 millimeter screw hex thread onto it, sorry, a screw thread into it. So we need to expand these holes because these are only 3 millimeter. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click on them whilst we're editing a sketch, click on the offset button, and we're going to offset it by 0.5 mil. And then we're going to zoom in. Oops, too far. And we're going to delete the smaller circle because you don't need that. We're going to zoom out, and then we're just going to do the same. Come on. On this one as well. So we're going to select the circle, we're going to hit offset, and we're going to do 0.5 mil. We're just going to expand it by 0.5 mil. And it's going to turn into a 3.5 mil circle. We're going to delete the internal one, and I'm going to finish our sketch up. And there we have the design for one side of our stand. Now effectively we need two parts of this. We need two sides of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the laser software and configure it in there. So we're just going to export this sketch as a DXF. We're just going to save it to our desktop. And we're going to call it keyboard stand. Okay. Let's catch up with chat and see where we've got to. What laser are you using? This is a 150 watt Chinese red and black laser. It's dirt cheap, it's like $5 grand, it's not expensive, and it's just great for cutting things at home. It's just great for cutting things at home. I guess depending on the angle of your board, which will be sitting at roughly around 75 to 80 degrees, which is near vertical. Well, vertical is 90 degrees, and this is laid at 70 degrees. So what you're going to have is boards that are going to be around 7 or 8 degrees. So it's going to be around 77 degrees, 78 degrees at most. It's not quite vertical, but it's nice for display stands. I think we can shallow it if it doesn't work out right, and we can test this today. That's the whole point of this stream. We're prototyping it. We're going to have some fun and see how it goes. Okay, so now we've done all of that. What we're going to do is bring up Lightburn, which is a software that controls the laser. And there is some complexity to this, guys, because we want to etch in a logo on the outside, which is the PT logo. We actually need to mirror the legs because we can't just cut the same shape twice. We actually have to cut the left side, etch into it, and then we have to cut the flipped mirrored inverse side and then etch into that with the design going in the same direction. So that when we put them on the side, it doesn't matter which side you read it from, it's going to be the same. Otherwise, what we'll end up with is we'll end up with two files that look something like this, where we've got the logo etched in, and you have one there and one at the side of it. But then when you have one at this side and you flip the other one around, it's not going to look right, it's going to look back to front. So we have to have an inverted side on this, otherwise we're not going to cut the shapes in the right way. Got to be sharp on when you're thinking about this sort of stuff. So in the laser software, what we're going to do is we're just going to open up our DXF. So we're just going to add that. What we would do if it shows. Add the file. Come on. No. Okay. And you guys can see now that we've got the file in here. So we're just going to rotate that around so it's the right way. And then what we're going to do is just going to flip that so you can imagine that this is going to be on the right hand side of the stand, that it's going to be facing you. We're just going to flip it horizontally. Okay, so that's how you're going to look at the stand. And we're going to be cutting 5mm acrylic. I'm just going to set that to whatever the right one is. I have got a setting for it. There. So that pink outline now is set for, well, it says 3mm acrylic on the thing, but it'll cut 5mm acrylic as well. So that's what we're going to cut. That's the outline of the shape that we're going to cut. Now what we need to do is we need to add in our logo. So I'm going to drop in the logo, the prototype this one. I'm just going to dig that out off the PC. Don't want a PNG, SVG. And there you go, guys, you can see that we've imported our logo. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to shrink that down so it's roughly the size we want it, and then we're just going to pop it in there, and that's going to be etch. So we're going to set that to an etch. There we go. So now that's acrylic etch. So you guys can see that we're going to cut the pink outline, and then we're going to etch the blue line. Now we're actually going to split this around, so we're going to do the etching first. So we're going to etch the blue, and then we're going to cut the pink outline around it. Now, as I said, we need to do a mirrored image version of this. What we're going to do is we're going to basically select everything, we're going to copy it, and we're going to paste it next to it. And then on this one, what we're going to do is we're going to select the outside shape, we're going to arrange it, and we're going to flip it on its horizontal axis. And then what we're going to do is we're going to align the PT logo in the same spot on the opposite side. Which is just there. So now we've got the two ends that we're going to cut. In fact, actually, we've messed up slightly. Hold on. Because when I just need to deselect that, miss the circle at the top. Okay, so now we're gonna flip this. We're gonna basically create a mirrored, undo. We're gonna create a mirrored version of this. Just like so. And then we're gonna select this, and we're just gonna move this across until it's in the correct place. There we go. Okay, so those are the two ends that we're going to cut. Now, when we actually lay this out on the actual board itself, we will in future, we'll tessellate this, so that we'll create it where it's actually going to tessellate and cut a pattern where they're actually going to connect together like two L's in this kind of dimension. But we don't need to do that for this, because this is just going to be a test cut basically. So now we've got that all aligned. We're just going to put it roughly where we want it on the material, and then we're going to save that and send it over to the machine. We're going to call this stand 1. I'm going to click OK. So that's now on the machine. So the next job is to get some material and put that into the machine and show you guys how that's going to work. I'm kind of worried that no one's in chat. No one's messaged anything in chat. I hope you guys are all listening to me and I'm still online. I hope that's the case. You're here. Okay. Chat was unreasonably quiet then. Normally when I'm explaining stuff, I get a load of questions. As everyone is just listening attentively. I'm not sure that's the case, but the next job is to grab some material. This is what we're going to cut on today. So I apologise because this is slightly off stream. But this is what we're going to cut today. It's basically a mirror, well, it's not a mirror, sorry, it's like glass, like green frosted glass is what the effect is. Now normally if I was cutting this, I would leave the material on both sides, which is like a protective film, but we're going to take that off this side today, purely because we're going to be laser etching into it. And when we're etching into it, we need to make sure that we're not etching into the plastic layer. We need to etch directly into the acrylic itself. Otherwise it's just going to melt this overall plastic layer and it's not going to go very well. It's going to look a bit crap. And like a melted mess. Oh, the rest of the board is going. Oh, that one was a sale one, so I'm not going to show you guys that. Okay, so now we've taken the sticky side is only on one side. This is just the plain material on top. We're going to lay this into the laser cutter. And you'll see here that we've got these little plastic parts. These are basically just spacers that are just going to raise the work material, the piece of material that we're working on, up by 5mm off of the cutting bed. And that's just so we get a nice clean edge cut and we don't get any marks from the metal underneath, the honeycomb mesh underneath. The honeycomb mesh can give vertical lines when the laser hits it, so we don't want any of that. So now we've got the material all lined up to roughly where we want it. The next job is to check that the machine understands exactly what it's going to do with the file. So now we're going to check that. That all looks good, and then what we're going to do is going to frame and see where it's going to cut it. So we can see that it's going to cut it just there. Now these look like they're going to be a little bit small to me. I think we might need to make these a little bit bigger. But this is the art of prototyping. We're going to test it and we're going to cut them and we're going to see how they come out. It's just so interesting to listen to. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, man. Now you'll realise what we said before is that we're going to do the blue etching first. Let me zoom in so you guys can see it. So we're going to do the blue etching first, and the reason we're going to do the blue etching first is because we've raised the work material up. If we do the outline first, the material could go at an angle, and then when we etch it, it's not going to be square and flush. So we do the etching first, and then we cut the outside diameter, just to make sure we've got the order of operations correct, basically. Okay, so now that's all in place. We know that the material's in the right place. We know that the file's going to cut. The next job is to make sure that the file, that the workpiece, the piece of material we're going to cut, is the right distance from the laser. And we do that with the use of my trusty laser focusing tool. Yeah, the laser does cut through the purple squares below, but I have plenty of spares. I have a tub of spares. It's basically just offcuts of old material, and we use that just to lift it up. Because if you don't, if you cut it on the workbed, on the sides of the material, instead of getting this nice glassy finish like I get here, you get vertical lines in it. And it's basically where the honeycomb reflects the laser back up for a brief second, and we don't want that. So we want nice glass-like smooth edges like you see on this. That's what we're looking for. Although you won't really see it on this material because it's not clear, but still, it's nice to have nice things. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to move the laser to roughly the center of where we're going to cut, and then what we're going to do is we're going to check the height. So we can see here that the if I zoom in, I'll show you guys this in a little bit more detail. Ugh. Okay, so the laser tool is at that means the work material is at the right height when this tool sits on that ledge there. So if that tool sits on the ledge there, it means it's at the right height, but you can see it doesn't quite sit on there, it's at the wrong height. So what we're going to do is just raise the work material up, and we're going to raise it up until that all sits nice and flush, which is just about there. So now we know that that's all level, the work material is at the right height, it's all looking good. So now it's time to cut. So we're just going to frame it one last time. You see the red light, that's where it's going to cut out. Doesn't look like we've got it quite on the material properly in the right place. I'm just going to edge it there. The red light isn't the actual laser itself. The red light is just to give you guys an idea of where it's going to cut. Okay, now we've done that, we're going to go back to the software and we're just going to hit start and it's going to cut it for us. So here we go, it's just etching in the Prototypist logo now. And then once it's etched this in, we'll see it cut around the outside edges of basically the design that we did before. I've never cut this material, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to go. I've never etched it either. This is a new type of acrylic that I'm using, so we shall see. I'm hoping this is going to come out. It's looking okay. It's looking good. You can guys kind of see it coming through now. You should be able to see the two Prototypist logos almost being displayed. No, the tape is basically just because the laser can't go to certain areas on the bed, so the tape that you see at the back, that's just literally where the edge of the material can go up to. So I know not to push the material too deep into the machine. I bring it forwards a little bit. It's just the area where the laser can't actually cut. Although you can see we had a small fire where it did set something alight, and that's what burned the tape up. With material this thick and heavy, there's no need to tape the edges down. If I'm cutting something like foam, I do tape that down. Okay, now we can see it cutting. Can we play tag with these ones? No, I don't think so. Okay, now you guys can see that it's cutting that curved shape. And then it's going to do the flick. There we go. Then it's going to come round. Turn the LED off. You want to see what the LED off? Yeah. There you go. Laser goes zap. Zap, zap, pew. You can see that PT logo looks really crisp and neat there as well. Oh man, dude, lasers are so much fun. Lasers are so much fun. Get it out. Have a go with it. Have a work with it. I need to turn off the autofocus on this camera when we're doing these. It doesn't need to be focusing. There you go. You can see it's cut out that whole part and it's dropped down, which means it's cut nice and smoothly. And that's just because of where we've put the purple squares underneath. It's just dropped. So now we're going to cut the second side. What should I use to program? So do your design work in Fusion, export your sketches as DXFs or SVGs or something similar. And then my recommendation would be to look at Lightburn for the actual software to control your laser with. It's not compatible with every laser, but the software is excellent. It's really intuitive, it's really easy to use. It's what I had on screen a few minutes ago. I think it's £80. It's not a lot, it's like €100. It's really cheap, but it's great stuff. Yeah, it's called Lightburn. Should be able to overlap the shapes better for less waste material. Yes, it will do. Yeah, and this will be all recycled anyway too. But yes, what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to tessellate the pattern so it goes something like that. We'll have the left and the right ones. We'll do 2 right ones, 2 left ones, 2 right ones, 2 left ones. And when we're doing a whole sheet of them, we'll tessellate it across. But we're just testing here. We're just seeing. There we go. We're just seeing if these are the right size, seeing how well they work. And all of that kind of stuff. So these are just prototypes. There's a whole sheet for prototyping. You're going to be far too tempted to pick up a stand. Hopefully these are going to look as nice as I hope they're going to look. I think they're going to be a little bit too small. Just going to take the material out. Someone asked if it would cut through the purple ones as well. Yeah, it cuts through the purple ones. Okay. So this is what we have as the finished part. Look how nice that looks. The logo looks great. I'm going to peel off the backing. And then we're just going to pop out the 2 circles. And let me flip back to the other stream intro so you guys can see here. And this is what we come out with. Look at that edge. It's like glass. It's like green glass. Okay, so that's one side, and you can see that when you're looking at it from this side, you'll have the PT logo and the correct orientation. And then we have the other side. And then you'll see we have the PT logo and the correct orientation as well. This material picks up dust like you wouldn't believe, but it is super clean and super lovely. There we go. Purple ones with copper bars, maybe. So the idea now is to have these bars just basically sit across and hold them in place. So you'll see that it's basically going to look a little something like that. You're going to have 2 bars going across to hold them. So this is the bit that I have to do jankily, and I apologize for this because I basically don't have the right screws. I need 3.5mm screws, and these are 3mm. But your screw is going to go through like so. Just going to go through, and then it's just going to go into there. Okay. So I'm just going to get this all kind of semi put together just so I can show you guys how it's going to work. I think these just basically need to be a little bit bigger. That's all we need to do, just make them a touch bigger. And I think we'll be fine. The joys of not having screws that are the right size here, guys. Okay, so this isn't going to be very rigid because it's not screwed in, but this is basically how it's going to be. Oops, told you it's not going to be very rigid. So basically, you can see, guys, it's going to be like that, and it's going to hold on to the other side. But as I say, I just don't have the screws to make these fully rigid. Frustrating. But I do think that based off the size of these bars, I do think that the sides need to be just a little bit taller. Let's just see how a keyboard fits. And let's see if we do want to make these bigger. So this is a keyboard, and it's going to go like that. Actually, do you know what? That looks kind of all right. I think we only maybe need to go 10% larger for that. You see how it touches the board nicely on the sides. And if I bring this right to the very front, you can see how that fits just underneath the edge. I think it just needs to be a tiny bit larger. I think we just need to make them a tiny bit larger. The holes are in the right place, everything else is fine. I think we just need to offset them by like 15%, maybe 20%, make them a little bit larger. Try on the lodestone? Yeah, sure. Pretty good. Solid design. Yeah, I think they just need to be a little bit bigger. Not too much bigger, but just a little bit bigger. So let's make some that are a little bit bigger. Okay, so we're just going to do this in Lightburn itself. And we're just going to zoom out a touch. And what we're going to do is we're just going to select the 2 outer lines. So this is just basically selecting the 2 outer L shapes that we've got. And what we're going to do is we're going to make them 20% larger. So we're just going to size them up to 120%. Wow, that didn't quite work how I was hoping it was going to do. Okay, let's undo that. Let's undo that. Let's delete one side, and then let's make it all 20% larger. Okay, so we've made it 20% larger, but then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink down the two holes by 20% as well. And then I think we can measure these. Width 4.74. Okay, yeah. So we know that these are too big. So we're just going to make these back down to 3 mil. Let's see. That one's down to 3.1 mil. And that one's down to 3.1 mil. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to do is just going to duplicate what we did before. So we're just going to move this all slightly to one side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select the 3 parts that need to be cut. And we're going to copy that. We're going to paste that in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to inverse that. So we're going to flip that across its horizontal. And we've got a reversed image. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to copy this, paste it in. Oops. And we're just going to align it so it's at the same height. That is. There we go. And we're just going to move that across to where it needs to be in the center. That's why the whole thing is not quite aligned. There we go. That needs to just up a touch. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our second version. This is 20% larger. It's just going to be slightly larger overall. So effectively what you're going to have is you are going to have this just expanded in every direction by 20%. Hold on, I'll if I showed you the right way around. There you go. And let's see how these come off. So the last thing we're going to do back in Lightburn is we're just going to move them to where we're going to cut them on the laser, because the workpiece now has a hole in it where the old ones were cut. So we're just going to drop these down and move the whole thing just underneath where the original ones were cut. Should be about there. Then we're going to send that over. We're going to call this one stand 2. And we're going to send that over to the machine. Okay. Let's get the material back in the machine. I'm just going to zoom back out so you guys can see what I'm doing. What we'll do if the camera behaved itself. Then we're going to check that the file is in the machine correctly. We're going to just go through the programming, check it's okay. It is, it looks good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to frame it and make sure that it's going to cut on the material. And as you can see, that's not quite going to cut on the material. So you need to move the material back a touch. And that's all looking good there. So let's zoom back in. Just turn off the red laser. And let's start that going. There we go. 2 halves not aligned vertically. It's fine. When I'm going to do it and tessellate the pattern, it's okay. I can align them a little bit better. We're just testing the cuts here. So this whole piece of material is prescribed for waste effectively. It's what I'm just going to prototype with. So I'm comfortable knowing that it's not going to do it correctly, because I'll tessellate the parts so you get 2 parts in the same area and everything else when we actually start to cut these for production. So you see it's starting to etch in the logos there now nice and neatly. Oh, I fixed it as soon as you sent the message. It's still not perfectly aligned, I promise you. It's not quite perfectly aligned. That's why the laser did a tiny little bit on the right-hand side before it did the left. And you'll see it will finish off on the left-hand side. It will do a last little bit on the left-hand side of the etch before it goes over to start the cutting. Because it's not quite right, but it was close enough for government work. How much would you say you need to spend to get a decent custom keyboard? Whatever your budget is, you can get a decent custom keyboard for £150. You can get a decent custom keyboard for £10,000. It really depends on what your budget is and what you want from the board. Yeah, you pay for diminishing returns. The further and deeper you get into the hobby, the returns are diminishing per dollar. I'm just wondering if I do have any screws that will work, but it doesn't look like I do. It's really frustrating that I don't. Oh well. That frosted green is so pretty. Yeah, it's such a nice material. Like, I'm really happy with it. Someone asked me for a loop station in green. This is what they're going to get it made out of. Comes out super nice. Super nice. I'm just going to map gas the edge of this one to see if I can get it a little bit nicer. So what we're going to basically do is, whilst the laser's cooking, we're going to flame polish this edge and just try and get rid of some of those vertical marks in there from the laser. Okay, there we go. You probably can't tell the difference there, but that's just polished up nicely. Let's get the other one for comparison. So the bottom one is polished, the top one isn't. Can you guys see a difference? I guarantee there is one, but you might not be able to see it on camera. There, I think you can see it just there. I think you can see it just there. Shatner Pat, thank you very much for joining. Hello, good sir. We get to use all the fun toys on this stream. Again, safety first, guys. Oh, Vestaboard's going. Vestaboard's going. Let me get Vestacam up. There you go. Thank you very much, Trojan, for following. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Remember, guys, you can tweet my Vestaboard, and I will share it on stream if you do tweet it. You can hit !socials, and that will take you to my Twitter, where you can tweet me, and whatever you tweet will be displayed on there. Do I have some of that purple left? Yeah, I still have some of the purple left, Joe. Yes. Are you gonna commission a keyboard stand in purple? Is that what you want? Why does a Vestaboard have to be so expensive? I know, man, I know. A couple of macro stands and keyboard stands. Oh, okay, yeah, I probably have enough for that. Yeah, I don't have much of it left, Gio, but yes, I can probably do that. Drop me a message with what you want, and I'll see if I can make it for you. The Vestaboard is worth every penny of it. Macro stands will need a 1-inch lift to stand up from the shelf. Right, well, show me what you need. Draw it out on paper, show me what you need, and I'll see if I can make it for you, dude. I'll see if I can make it for you. Now we're just doing that lovely sweeping curve in these. And then this cut will be done. There we go. Okay, let's flick back over to the stream intro once I've taken these out, and then you guys can see them. Stands will cost more than most of the macro pads. Perhaps. Okay. Okay, so this is how it's come out. This is the slightly larger one. Just for size comparison, you can see that it's pretty. There you go. Quite a bit bigger. Perhaps 10% would have been the right amount, not 20%. Oh well, we'll see. This is why we prototype, guys. We've got to test all of this stuff. This is the whole point of prototyping. Okay, there we go. That's one side done. There's a slight blemish just on the underside of the plastic, just there, just here. If we map gas that, that will probably go away. Let's see if we can fix that with the map gas really quickly. Got rid of most of it. It's just slightly there still, but we'll fix that. We'll fix that. Okay. If it's slightly too big, it can hold a larger board at least. Slap a TK on it. Well, these are just prototypes anyway, dude. But yeah. Iterative design, home manufacturing revolution. Hey man, fail fast. That's my motto, dude. Fail fast and prevail. There you go, you can see this side. This has come out really neat and tidy. Really, really happy with that. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can mock this one up. I did make the screw holes slightly smaller, so hoping that I'll actually be able to mock this one up for more than a second. I don't really want to resort to gluing one of these together, although I could do, I guess. I could just glue it and see how it goes. I mean, it's only a prototype. It's not going to really make too much of a difference if I do just glue it, I guess. Okay, and there you go, guys. That's what the keyboard stands will look like. Prototypist logo on the side. Ta-da! Keyboard stand. It's going to twist a little bit purely because of how I can't screw this one together. But there you go. That's what it's going to look like. This nice green glass-like color. Really, really happy with that. Let's see how a keyboard fits on it. I'm not sure I dare pick this up, but that fits so nicely. It fits really nice, guys. Look at that. Try and get it back in the frame a bit better. There you go. Looks really, really nice. These are a much better size. I think this is perfect, just the way it is. Oh yeah, and orange Argyle Prototype. How nice is that? Bit of a prototype. This hasn't been seen outside of Discord and like 3 people until just now. But look at that. How nice is that color? How nice is that color? Look at that go. Soon. Soon, guys. Soon. Makes me really excited. So yeah, so guys, there we go. Keyboard stands designed and made. We've gone through 2 prototypes. We've got the perfect sizing. We've got the perfect cut. We've got the details in the right way. We just need the right screws now to make this work. So the screws are on the way. I actually got the delivery notification about an hour before we started to stream, the shipping notification. So they should be here in the next day or so. As long as these tighten up and are nice and rigid, then this is what we're going to go with. So there we go. Hey Jay, I have more color ideas now. KW. Color ideas for what, Nerdy? Color ideas for what? Because we need to decide on some colors actually, because something is just finished manufacturing and we need colors for it. So DM me. DM me. Thank you ever so much for the follows. So just catch up on those. LaFish, Ran the Balls, Trojam, TT DevP, Dotnik, T-Tom, Ticube, Mr. Grinseppo, KC2 Lucky, Clack Keys, Orepso, Orange Cyborg, Premsturk, Arcana, Jordan TV, Cheese One Over, It's Brutal, Kazim, The Bro Dude, Glenn Dessau, Krieth, Yori Wolf, Sianthra, Tengu God. Thank you so much, guys, for all of the follows during the stream today. I really, really appreciate that. Where's the Z? The Z's at home, so that's the one car that doesn't come up here very often. But this is my second Datsun, the blue one behind me, this one here. This is my my Datsun 620 truck. It'll be on the road in a couple of weeks, and I have my my 1989 VW Caddy outside. My other car is in the corner. I've got a Peugeot just in the corner, Peugeot 306 3 litre turbo diesel, just in the corner, just over here. And then I have a 1965 Nissan P130, which is on a boat on the way over here from Malaysia. So I can't wait for that to arrive as well. So yeah. Oh, where's the Z? Oh, you meant in the name. Oh, sorry, I missed the. Is it Kasim or Kazim? I don't know. I apologize if I pronounce it wrong. I apologize. Just wondering, why do you keep both of your cars inside? Are they going like a restoration project? Yeah, this is a 1974 Datsun 620 truck. Hold on, look. This is old. This isn't new, so it stays inside. Yeah. Peugeot is a long-term race car fan. It is, yeah. That's a lot of cars. I think I've got 8 cars at the minute, I think. Yeah, I think 8. It's not the most I've ever had at one time. The most I ever had at one time was about 2 years ago, and I had 11. And I went dropped them down to like 4. And then we've slowly built it back up this year. So yeah, I like my cars. Cars are my second hobby. No, it won't stay outside. The only cars that stay outside are the daily drivers. Like I've got a 3-year-old Mazda that I bought a couple of weeks ago, and my wife drives another Peugeot. They stay outside all the time. But all of the VW truck Pete, the 1989 VW Caddy, that's outside as well. But the other ones all stay inside at all times. Don't let them go outside. They don't go outside in the rain, basically. If it's wet, don't go outside. When's the latest coming in? Mid-June, you know, we're expecting it in mid-June. It goes on the ship at the end of this month, and it should be here in mid-June. Yeah, I don't want the cars to rust. I like to look after them a little bit. So this one will be a daily driver. Once it's finally road legal, it will become my daily driver, and I'll drive it whatever, come rain or shine. So this one will go outside then. But the 65 P130, that will never see a wet day. The same as my Datsun doesn't. The Datsun Z, that never sees a wet day. Never sees a wet day, never sees rain. It's always tucked inside. And the garage is heated as well. I heat the garages so it never drops below 10 degrees. You just gotta look after it, gotta treat him like a baby. Gotta love lasers. Thanks, man, thanks. Yeah, we've been doing some laser cutting today, as well as showing off the Argyle Prototype. I'm gonna show this once more because how cool is this? Look at that. How nice is that color? Look how good that looks. Look how good that looks. Love it. What's the layout on that? 60%. This is the Argyle Prototype. So it's 60%, but you have open windows to show all of your controllers and gubbins. It's kind of like a gingham style 60%, but with a full-on aluminium case in lodestone orange. And of course we have the other orange board here, the lodestone, which that's all magnet mounted. That's basically floating on magnets. So yeah, a very nice color, right? Orange is my favorite color because I like amber as well. And my Datsun's orange, so yeah. Wide gingham instead of tall? Yes, exactly. Amber and coffee, it's the 2 staples of my life. Amber bad. Bad as in good, right? You mean that as in a good way? You mean that as in a good way? Okay, guys. Okay, so I think the Vesta board just updated, and I didn't share it, but let's turn the Vesta board on. There you go. So Trojam is now following. Thanks for the support. Thank you. If you do want to see your message appear on the Vesta board, you can just tweet me. You can go to jprototypist and tweet me. And if you tweet it, it should come up on the board, as long as you don't put any emojis on there, and as long as you don't put any, as long as you don't go over the character limit, it will display whatever message you want to say to me. All you need to do is message me on Insta, and you can see how to do that just there. Tweet the Vesta board, guys. It makes me so happy when I see it come up. Divinity, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I'm really happy with how these keyboard stands came out. This just looks so nice. Thank you very much, Dualco426 for the follow. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Look how nice the etching came out on these. Yeah, it's not gonna let me hold it. I need to get the right size screws for this, but once we get the right size screws, these rods are super strong as well. Like you can't break these. These are 10 centimeters long and robust as anything. But look how cool that came out. Yeah, these are going to be on the store. They're probably going to be a couple of weeks away. I'm going to order some more material, and I'm going to cut maybe 100 or so of these. I've got enough parts to do 100 or so. So yeah. Someone's tweeted the Vesta board. Walco says, a prototype is show us the wall on Twitch. There you go. That's awesome. I love that thing so much. It's just so much fun. It's just so much fun just to see it flick around. There you go. I'm sold. I have to get one. Ferris, is that on the Vesta board or is that on the keyboard stands? Google Vesta board. This isn't an ad. I bought and paid for this. I just love the thing. I did not get this for free. I didn't get any things from Vesta board or anything like that. I 100% paid for this out of my own money, and I love the fucking thing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Stands, yeah, you can get the stands. You'll be able to get the stands on the store in the next 4 or 5 weeks at the most. Next 2 to 3 weeks if I'm quick on it. It depends on how long they are. Just keep an eye out on the weekly updates that go out every Friday or Saturday, and when they're in stock and ready to go, you'll see a notification. Oh, we have more updates. Randall Bolts is now following. Thanks for the support, man. Thank you so much for following, dude. Thank you. You are now immortalized for the next minute or two on the wall. No, it was like 10 seconds, but there we go. Walco426. There you go. Thank you for following and thank you for the support. I think it doesn't catch everyone. I think it misses some. It all depends on what's happening with the Twitch API, but there we go. The stands Vesta board is way out of my budget. Yeah, what is it called? So it's linked to Shopify. If I get a sale on the website, it notifies me. It's linked to Twitter, so you can tweet the board, and it's also linked to Twitch. So when I go live on streaming, or when someone follows, or eventually when someone subscribes, if we get to that point on the channel, then it will also update with that. It also tells me a joke in the morning. It tells me what the weather's going to be like at 9 AM every morning, because I'm here from silly o'clock. And it also lets me know when I arrive as well. The second I open the door, it's linked to the thing on the door. It rolls around and says, "Welcome, Jane." So yeah, little things. The most expensive texting tool I've ever seen. Dude, it's so fun. It is so fun. The Vesta board is great. Like, people can just message me and share something with me, and when I'm working here in the workshop and it just comes around and it whizzes around, it makes me smile so much. Like, it's just so good. It's so good. Give you some breathing room budget wise. Yeah, I don't know how much these are going to be. They're not going to be expensive. £10 each or something like that. They're not going to be hugely expensive. Probably be about £10 with the stand, something like £10, £12. I don't want to quote a price now, but it'll be somewhere in that range. Less than 15. Yeah. So says massive nerd. You know it. You know it. Meow. You know me fairly well by now, I think, and you know how much of a nerd I am. Divinity says, that's so cool, how do I get one? You go and look on the Vesta board website and you buy one, and you spend a lot of money and you regret it until it turns up, and then it turns up and you don't regret it anymore. You're really happy about it. Need a geo command for a purple wall. There you go. You need an all-wheel drive train, all-wheel drive drivetrain. Oh, right, okay, I see what you mean for a car, yeah. It has a series of APIs, so you can do everything that you want to. So there's an API for the software, so you can control it and do whatever you want. You can code it, and I can send a message to it now. So there you go. It's going to change in a second to something I've sent across. Yeah, you have unlimited control over it. You can make it display whatever you want. You can link it into anything that has a webhook or an API or anything else as well. So I have some custom ones for Shopify. Anytime there's a new sale, it lets me know, and it tells me what it is and what the order number was and whether it was in stock or a group buy, and then I know whether to pack it or not. There you go. I've now sent a pattern to the wall. Yeah, you can have pretty much control over it. Cheap TV with the sound effects seems more reasonable. Dude, Gio, come on, please. Tell me you don't love this. Like, I remember this. This is nostalgic to me. I remember these being in train stations and everything else. Yeah, it's amazing. Bookmarks, we're deciding if we want to get one for our office now. I'm really tempted to buy a second one to have at home in my kitchen so that me and the wife can message each other. Trains are nowhere near what you guys have. They were in airports as well. I remember them in train stations and airports when I was a kid. You used to have these huge displays, 10 times the size of this, and they would just tick or roll down. They didn't have as many characters on as these do, so they couldn't do punctuation. And the ones in train stations didn't do all letters either, or all numbers. There were some that were flipped and reversed and things like that, so they weren't quite as clever as this one. But yeah, this one's really cool. Doesn't my name look attractive on this board? Sure, man. If you like it up there, you like it up there. Make coffee, please. Absolutely. Yeah. So they were divided by columns. Certain columns only had numbers in. Certain columns only had letters in on the vintage ones. This one, any single box on there can notate any digit or any letter. So it's really cool. Cozy Funny, thank you so much for joining. Hey, man. Thank you very much for being here. You know techs are a thing, right? James, tell me you don't want one. If I was going to buy one of these and send it to you, I think you'd like it. I think you'd like it. But I like old vintage tech. I love anything that's old and vintage. So, and these are based on vintage tech, and that's why I like them so much. As a gift, sure. I hear you, man. I hear you. Okay, so just to recap on the stream today, guys, we've talked about the Vesta board a lot. You guys have used it and abused it, which is great. Makes me smile. We've designed our keyboard stands, which these are going to be on the store in the next couple of weeks. They'll be in stock once I've cut enough of them to make them in stock, and you guys will be able to use them for whatever you will. Keyboard stands with nice thick rods. Yeah. I guess that means Jay would like me. I'm old and vintage. Sure, man. Sure. Gio as well. They wouldn't like me. I'm old and vintage. Yeah, like look, old cars. Like this car is older than me. It's 11 years older than I am, and I'm 36. You know, I like old cars. I like old things. I don't know. Like, even down to how I store stuff, I like to use old style things, even if I can't use something that actually is old. So I use a lot of these mason jars to store things, switches and all sorts. This one's empty, obviously, but I do use them to store all sorts of things, just because I think, I don't know, just harkens back to that era where things were a little bit more manual, a little bit more tactile. Need a little bit more control over it, maybe. Gio says, I do require more maintenance than your cars, though. I don't know, man. I don't know. That bonnet hasn't been shut for about 3 weeks. I don't know. Better than just putting them in a drawer. Yeah. I like to have displays and stuff. And I like to do things with different things. Like, even some of the tools I use are really old. Like at home, I've got this old Ratchet Screwdriver. And this is going on for a real tangent. But it actually... it was made in like the 1930s or something, and you just hold one end and it's got like a rod that extends, and that rod has got different grooves milled into it, and as you close it, it spins the screwdriver tip. It's like a hand wound screwdriver. It's really clever, really cool. That's a good use for my wife's spare kilners. Yeah, kilners, mason jars, all that kind of stuff. Absolutely love it, yeah. do it. Why not? I have a big one full of switches. Let me grab it. Let me show you. Let me show you guys how cool these look. So this is the one I have, just full of switches. It's like, I don't know, 40 centimeters tall, 30 centimeters tall. Just love it. Anything like that is worth it for me. Maybe that's why I like the orange so much. Like, maybe the orange is because I like vintage things so much. Like, it's a very 70s color. Guess the right number, win the bunch. I don't even know how many's in there. I'd guess 600 or 700, something like that, I guess. I don't know. That has to be a guess how many switches for pricing. Maybe if I do an open day, I'll do that. I'll have an open day, and the first person to tweet the right number to the Vesta board gets something. I don't know. Do you have one of those old school retro fridges? No, I wanted to get one in the home. My wife vetoed that idea. So yeah. Be perfect at the workshop. You're right. It would be, but I don't really have the money for one. That would be a waste of money. I've already wasted money on the Vesta board, so yeah. Just put it in the shop. Yeah, I could do, but I'd rather spend the money on stock. You know, I spent enough money on the Vesta board, so I don't want to spend too much more money on stuff like that. Yeah, I don't need too many more fun things. Is it raining? Yeah, it's really heavily raining here. Yeah, you can probably hear the laser machine in the background though, because that's still running. But it is raining really heavily here. A ticket for purchasing the maglev board? Well, it's not going on sale anytime soon, isn't the Lodestone? We haven't decided on when and if. It needs another round of prototyping before we do anything at the very least. So it's going to be a little while away. But it does look really good. I'm a huge fan of this board. This is fully working prototype as well. This is all working. Everything works on the PCB and the daughter board and everything else. 100% works. You can type on this as much as you like. It's completely working. And of course it's got that whole maglev movement to it as well. So yeah. And then the base of it, it's kind of like a grey that turns from a silver to a dark grey depending on how the light hits it. And it's got these lovely milled in hip shapes here, which are just really nice and tactile to touch. So yeah, that's the Lodestone, guys, fully working. Yeah, this orange is cool. Like, I've had a few things made in this orange. There's the Lodestone. We've had the Argyle made in it as well. Because the Argyle just looks great in this orange too. And then one of the other things I'm working on, which will be on the store soon-ish, and we're going to have these in multiple colours as some little trays, little hex trays. These are going to be hex trays just for screws, little bits and pieces. You can't really see on this, but we have etched the Prototypist logo into the back of this, if I show it to you. It's really hard because the camera's back to front. So we're going to do that on some others. We also have one in orange, which looks really cool. So these are going to be for sale on the website at some point in the near future. And because they're hex, you can actually stack them together and make a triangle shape if you want to, or whatever. These aren't magnetic now, but they will have rubber feet on the base as well. So this is the latest version. It's really nice. We're actually going to laser engrave these tomorrow, so there might be a quick daytime stream tomorrow where I create a jig and actually show you guys how I laser etch these. That might be something we stream tomorrow during the day. Only be a really short stream, maybe 40 minutes long, but it will be a case of create a jig on the laser cutter and then etch into the back of them. So we're going to laser on the base of them. So you're going to have like a design on the base on the back of them. So it's going to be very similar to to this, but it's going to have like a whole bit of text and everything else on there. Basically a bit about the designer. Very similar to how the iPhones used to have it on the back of them. Yeah, these are so cool. Super cool. Big fan. And because I did promise you prototypes and sneak peeks, here's a sneak peek at something else. I'll leave you guys guessing from just that bit that I'm showing you guys there. There we go. Seeing these beat streams make the prototypist name sound even better. Yeah, that's why I picked it. Prototypist and prototyping and making stuff is all about what it was when I created this space. So we have laser cutters, we have 3D printers, we have tools galore, we have woodworking tools, you name it, we can do it here in the workshop. And that's what I want to share with you guys. Like, we're going to do some car streams soon, including on the brand new Mazda that I bought a couple of weeks ago. We're actually going to retrofit CarPlay to it because it's a 2018 Mazda that I bought, but the 2021 version has CarPlay. And then 2018 one doesn't, but I bought the tools to make it CarPlay. So we're going to do all sorts of different things. We're going to do all sorts of different things. I didn't see the update from the kinetic driver. No, I did buy one, but I haven't seen there's an update. Are they getting ready to ship soon? Who messaged that? Was that Vox? Yeah. Let me know if there was an update from them. It was a well thought out name. Like the plan for Prototypist goes back to 2018, I want to say January 2018, and I planned to set up as a vendor then and do a few things for the projects I was working on at the time. The vestible's update, and we never got round to it, and then my mum passed away and all sorts of other things happened, and we finally got going. We finally got going in November 2019, but that was the whole idea behind Prototypist. It was, it wasn't just a one thing. It wasn't just to be a keyboard store and just some odd streams or with TalkBack or anything. It was completely designed to be its own thing where I could make stuff and do different things and cool things. So Isatalio says, GMK Dual Shot, let's go. 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, it'll be live on prototypist.net. 8 a.m. in the morning, you'll be able to pick up Dual Shot. Yeah, GMK Dual Shot, you'll be able to pick it up from 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. 8 a.m. Curry Spoon, thank you so much for the follow, man. Appreciate that. So the issue on the Mazda is it's not a really retrofit. They have what's called the MZD entertainment system, and it's the same one that they have on the 2021 model. It just has newer software and a slightly different SD card and USB port holder. And the one in my car is the USB port that's in the kind of like driver's side compartment behind the drink holders, the cup holders. That needs replacing, and cables need running through behind the dash and connecting to the entertainment system. And then we upgrade the software, and then it will work with CarPlay. So it's not that it's a huge retrofit, it's just more of a case of it was just in between the times when they were getting ready for it. So we're going to retrofit it because I've got all the parts for it, dead easy. Should be good fun. They're making good progress. They sent an email out that they finally have all the court cases. Excellent. Hopefully the tool will be here soon. I'm excited for that. They sent an email out. They finally have the court cases. Yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah. Prototype is, yeah, that's exactly it. But yeah, Trojan, we'll have GMK DualShock Group Buy live tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. UK time. You'll be able to get the Rama macro pad, you'll be able to get the Rama keys, you'll be able to get the key set, you'll be able to get the desk mat, you name it, 8 a.m. Yeah. First order might get something free thrown in as well. I might do, whoever gets the first order for GMK DualShock in, I might give them a free DualShock macro pad. Maybe. Yeah. Rama M6C. I might give whoever gets the first order in, I might give them an M6C for free. Whoever gets the first order, that's it. Yeah. It's a race. It's a race. And you guys are the only ones that know about it. Just however many people are viewing right now, because I can't see the stats. Sounds like a no-brainer of a hack. 100%. Yeah, it's that easy. I had CarPlay in the Kia that I had before, which was a company car for my old day job, that I had to go in. I left that, and whilst the Mazda Connect entertainment system is great because it's got a Bose stereo and everything else, it's fantastic, I just miss having CarPlay for Google Maps and like messages and other things. 8 a.m. tomorrow, 8 a.m. UK time, first order for GMK DualShot, has to buy a GMK DualShot base. Whoever gets the first order in, I will add a free M6C macro pad to their order. Mel and Noel, everything is not easy for me. You know me, you know that that's not true. Nothing is easy. Everything that's on these streams is more than meticulously planned. Like, I don't test things before I do them, but I have a really good idea and I spend time drawing it out. Like, what you haven't seen for this is you haven't seen the fact that my notebook is full of drawings for them. I don't have that notebook here, but I have another one, I think. So I have another notebook here that's more of my sketch pad. And I have like an A3 one, and I have like an A5 one. The A5 one is full of tons of drawings, but this this graph pad, this is where I plan out a lot of stuff. So you can see, this is where if I can get it in the camera frame. There you go. This is where I planned out the stream table and everything else. And there's all sorts of different layers of drawings and stuff like that. I think we even did like an isometric drawing as well, just to lay it all out and how I want it and stuff like that. So I think about things a lot and I draw things a lot before I act on them. I just like the tactile feel of pencil on paper. That's why I carry a pen around with me all the times. Just because I like to draw and write things out and make sure I know what I need it to do. And it's like thinking things through, like if I cut the logo this way on this side and then we put the same piece on the other side, well, the logo is going to be back to front, so I need to cut the pieces mirrored and then flip the logos around. Just little things like that. It's easy to miss a lot of times when you're prototyping. Just need to think it through. Geeky Ed says, managed to get my two 3080 FEs. My fingers are pretty quick, game on. We'll see, we'll see. Alarm set for DualShot, yeah. 8 a.m, it's all automated, it's gonna go live at 8 a.m. I have no control of it. I will not be there when it goes live, but whoever gets the very first order in, I will give them a DualShot M6C macro pad. I will add that to their order. You have my word. The website didn't keel over when we had all of the JL1s and we sold like nearly 400 of them in less than half a minute. So I'm pretty sure it'd be already good. It was all right. Looking good, that. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate that. So do you. You always look good, though. You always look great. Mel was actually here when we put the Vesta board up. She helped put the Vesta board up. She was my tool carrier. She was like handing me tools and bits and pieces while I was up a ladder. And I had a friend here who was helping me lift it and everything else. Yeah, it was good fun. Good fun. Because it's really heavy. It's really, really heavy, is that Vesta board. It's like, I don't know, 25 kilograms, something like that. It's not a light thing. I paid him. I think I paid you, Mel. I think I paid you. Okay, guys. So I think we've pretty much wound down on the stream now. It's not wireless, no. Well, it is wireless in terms of how it works. It works over Wi-Fi, but it does have one wire for power. So that's the black wire you can see coming down. That's for power. That's the only power line it has. So yeah. Everything else is wireless. But I think, guys, we're just towards the end of the stream now. We're just going to start winding down, which means I need to pick someone to raid. So let's go back to Twitch and see who's making stuff in Makers and Crafting. Let's see. I don't necessarily want to follow a keyboard streamer, but let's follow someone doing something a little bit different. Looks like someone else is here with a man cave. It's Texas Hula. So let's. I think we should raid Texas Hula. I'm gonna drop him a follow.
Stop peeling.
And then
Stop.
And then we're gonna raid him. That's who we're gonna raid today. Texas Hula. Or would be if I could control Twitch. That's what we're going to do. And I want you guys to be really nice to him, tell him that you like what he's doing, ask him about what he's doing, all of that kind of stuff. The display stands are wireless, yes. But let's go and raid Texas Hula. Let's see what he's doing. Give him all the thanks. Tell him he's great, and tell him that his looks good as well. Tell him that he looks really good. I'm just going to roll the outro now, guys. Thank you so much for watching today. let's go give him Texas Will a really big shout out, and hopefully, guys, you'll come back tomorrow for the next stream that we do. See you guys. Bye bye.
Approaching very soon.
Jay, thank you so much. Jay, thank you for that follow, bud. That raid.
Nuts. Cheer 100.
Thank you, Socks. Tenacious.
Ruby Benison. Oh, you got raided.
I did, Ruby. I did. Jay, thank you so much for bringing your friends over here. What were you working on, man? Am I saying that right? Is it Jay?
Foo-foo.
Am I saying it correctly?
Well, I am laid up with my neon ice long.
Oh, no, Foo. I hope you're all right, sir. I hope you're all right. Dadgummit. Jay, thank you so much. Am I saying that right? I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'm literally, completely, totally at a daggum
Michael
loss right
Wen.
now.
J and May is about to get confusing.
Yes.
The D win. You ever been to both ADs?
I have no idea what that is.
SOXX. J_prototypist. We were laser cutting some display stands.
Nice. Hey, thank you, Socks. Dude, I want a laser printer so bad. Actually, Miss Soup's wanting a laser printer. My bride. She's wanting one. We'll eventually get one of these days. Bandsaw first. That's what I'm saving up for right now is bandsaw. And Tenacious, thank you so much for those biddies, bud. Thank you for the rate. I'll tell you what. Hey, Jay, I got this
The
habit.
D win. Both of D's nuts lol.
I got a habit of dropping a follow, Jay. So I'm going to drop you a follow. Let me get this right here. Thank you for bringing your friends over here. For guys who don't know me, my name's Hula. I'm a woodworker.
How close are you to the saw?
I should next month. I should have it. I should have it. It should be good to go. It'll wipe me out.